Are you living or existing? Do you know the difference? Today on Idea Tennis, this episode is designed to help you explore the profound difference between simply surviving and truly living. Now, this episode is a hero to those who feel stuck in the daily grind, who wake up each day feeling unfulfilled, and who are searching for more meaning and purpose in their lives. So, on Idea Tennis today, Jessica and I are going to talk about living and existence. Do you know the difference? Jess, I would love to know on your end, what's the difference between living and existing?
Living and existing are two totally different things. Existing is, I call it the rinse and repeat day.
Mm,
It's where you are stuck or following a routine. You aren't living to your potential. You haven't figured out what your purpose is, what you want your life to look like. You are miserably content with the
mm,
mundane of the I have a house, I have food, I have a job, and not going or pursuing more out of life. Living is messy and beautiful and fun and scary and exciting. Living is about trying, doing, failing, winning. Living is, to me, when you've aligned with purpose, when you've aligned with even a sense of uncertainty that you're okay with. I know what I want. I have no idea how I'm going to get there. I have no idea what I'm going to do. But all I know is that I am going for it. Whether it's to climb Mount Everest, start a new business, whatever it is that sets your soul on fire, that is truly living. And if you could be of service to others while you're doing it, you just won the grand prize.
mm. I got a different spin on it, and you're gonna like this one too. So when I think about existing, I think about existing as automation.
Mm.
It's the automatic piece of life, right? And I think the living is the manual piece of life because manual meaning that it's by choice, it's conscious, and existing is the unconscious, it's automation, right? The automatic mind, the manual mind, so to speak. And when your life is built around the automation piece of it, you just existing because it's automation. You're just running the program. What the settings is set and you're just running it. But then when you come to living now, it's by choice, right? You look at things, you consciously say, I'm going to do this thing today. Specifically, I'm going to deliberately do this thing. And that creates a different kind of outlook because now you're choosing that direction. Like you're taking deliberate steps versus the automation that's built in. Because a lot of our life, we're built on certain kind of automation from the childhood experience, how we've been conditioned, been indoctrinated growing up, and all those things are built in automation that's playing in the background. But then now it's, hey, you about to live now, like by choice. You get to do these things. This is your choice. So, Jess, how is your automatic mind and how is your manual mind? What do you think about that?
I will say there were times in my life where I was stuck in automated living in existence that didn't feel good, didn't feel like me. I had
Mm-hmm,
no purpose at that time. I was not living to my potential. I
mm-hmm,
think that there are phases in life where people experience that. The difference, I believe, is that it was a season in my life. It wasn't my entire life. And it
mm-hmm,
also gave me the opportunity to reflect on, is this living? Am I living to my fullest potential? Is this the life that I dreamed of? And
mm-hmm,
no, it wasn't. So I had to do something different in order to have a different life and start living. So I think that people questioning where they are in life has a lot to do, obviously, with self reflection, but really
mm-hmm,
being honest with yourself. Are you truly living or are you existing? Are you on that autopilot,
mm-hmm,
groundhog, rinse and repeat day? Or are you living a life of choice? Are you living a life of new, different service, of being able to say, I've aligned with the path that is going to get me to my dream life? You don't wake up one day and your dream life is there. Your dreams become reality because you put in the work, you make an effort, you make choices that get you closer to that life. I think that a lot of people being miserably content, they're stuck.
Mm.
They're stuck.
So here's the awesome thing about stuck, because sometimes people don't understand the word stuck too. Because sometimes you be stuck in an automation, right? And you're stuck in that cycle, that loop, right? That perfect repeatable misery, right? And you just spinning and turning that same automation. And now you got to figure out, how do you regulate that automation? Because regulation comes in with the conscious piece of life, right? I'm going to regulate my automation, meaning that I'm going to disrupt this thing. I'm gonna create something that's going to disrupt it, going to change it, because automation, like the perfect repeatable thing. And it might seem perfect because like you're stuck in that zone, right? That's very comfortable. Or you can like, hey, I'm gonna regulate this. I need to find something different. And how do you regulate? Sometimes, so if you listen to this right now, you're like, okay, think about your life and figure out what's in your life is playing on a certain pattern, right? It's playing in the background, certain automation is running, and your life is just repeating on the same thing. You're like, okay, so how you disrupt that? First, you gotta know what it is, because you can't regulate what you don't know. So if you know that your regular cycle has been playing this way every day, then okay, you gotta disrupt that. You gotta regulate it. What you gonna use to regulate? Different mindset, different skill set. You gotta tap into people ideas, like we got right here. Different ideas about how do you disrupt the thing that is on autopilot and create a new direction. But that means that comes with very powerful questions, like we asked you today about the question of, are you living or existing? You gotta ask yourself that: am I really living or am I existing? Am I getting up every day on autopilot, right? Just playing automation every day, or I'm gonna do it consciously? And that's the big question now. What are your thoughts?
I think the automated part of life of existing is for many different reasons. For some people, it's fear. Some people, it's self doubt. Some people, it's societal pressures. Other people, it's financial concerns. I think that whatever it is that's holding you back, you need to really dig deep and figure out what's preventing you
Mm,
from living a life that you envisioned when we're talking with what do they want to be when they grow up.
mm-hmm.
And depending on who you're speaking to, they'll say different things. And an NBA basketball player, an astronaut, the president. And then you're like, okay, they're so full of potential. And the truth is,
Mm-hmm.
all of those children could grow up to be any of those things. At
Mm-hmm.
some point, something happens along the way, and it no longer feels like that could become their reality. You ask an adult, what is it that you want to do for a living? Most people will say, have a secure job or have steady income. Most people won't think outside of the box. Most people won't realize that they can have that childlike dream
Mm-hmm.
of whatever it is that they desire and work towards it to have that as their dream life. Now, it's not about the income, it's not about the money, it's about the pursuit of what you want out of life. I think that for many people, you get caught up in that automation. You don't see the space to
Mm-hmm.
dream. We've had this conversation in the past, right? I think that the pressure that they feel is heavier and weighs more than truly pushing themselves for a deeper, more meaningful, connected life to be able to live. And it's why I said living is it's messy, it's beautiful, it's exciting because
Mm-hmm.
it's all of those things. It's not perfect. It's far from it, but it's embracing the imperfection to be able to say I've lived a life of no regret. That to me, at the end of your life, when you look back and you reflect on your time here and you say, I regret nothing. I'm grateful for everything. And I worked really hard to make a difference. You lived an incredible life.
Mm. Well, that's powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Because that had me think about my own journey of coming out of the automation, the conscious living, to think about my own life, reflecting on the things that I've been through. That, oh my God, Jess. where you started off, because one of my biggest challenges, some people I talk about in my other podcast too, about when I had my ADD challenges, right? My ADD and dyslexia, I first saw them as really things that was just weighing me down, right? And not able to regulate my mind because I have a lot of ideas, but didn't know how to frame it or to organize it. When I start sitting back, okay, these other people that have had the same kind of challenges I have, like what did they do to overcome this thing? What did they do to regulate this flooding of ideas that keep showing up, right? All these thoughts, so much thoughts. And I started reading a lot of books. I started reading a lot of books. I started listening to other people, like searching for those teachers that have overcome what I'm struggling with and figure out what did they do? What framework did they use? What system did they use? What tool did they use to make sure that they start regulating the things that was feel like it was out of control or the thing that was on a cycle that was just keeping them going on the same road. And I started discovering that. And that started making my life feel a lot more easy because now I'm like, man, I'm not the only one that been on this path. A lot of people have, like planet Earth, like billions of people showed up before I did. And human being, the body doesn't change that much. So we've been going through the same thing, right? Some of the same thing we all been going through. So how did they do it? What did they do? And how did they overcome it? And I started discovering those answers. So I would, if you guys listen to this podcast right now and you want to figure out how do you regulate some of your automation or disrupt some of your automation, you got to go find people that are doing it. People that are being to the same thing just like you, that got punched in the face just like you by some of the same thing. And what did they do to fight back? And those are in books. Those are in books. Just what are your thoughts?
I mean, that's the whole nurture part of this conversation for today.
Yeah.
Nurturing relationships that support your growth and help you find fulfillment in life and in living and in your day and in your week. That is ultimately the first step in overcoming the automation.
Mm-hmm.
Think about how do you create a life that is full of experiences. The holidays just passed, and I went from
Mm-hmm.
work business mode to, I call it the memory maker for my family. And I quickly transitioned and poured all my focus into creating a space, experiences that my family could reflect on 10, 15 years from now and resonate feelings of joy and love and blessing from the experience that I created in the past couple of days with my family. That was a deliberate decision. That
Mm-hmm.
was to be able to live a life that was truly fulfilling for me these past 3 days. I did no work, like no work, no emails. I know it's driving you and a million other people crazy, but I needed to be fully present. And I didn't
Mm-hmm.
even take a lot of pictures because I was fully present in the moment and really
Yeah.
focusing in on those memories and being able to feel the warmth of what love is like in a home where people respect each other, where everyone shares a win and reflecting on this past year together. It was a beautiful 3 days with my family. I made a choice to create that in my home. And so it doesn't mean that the choices we make are easy, that they don't require some type of sacrifice. But I think it's being able to realize that it's within us. It's a choice. Could I have said to my family, I have a lot going on. I have a lot of projects. I'm here, but I'm answering this email. Or yeah, I could have said that, but I chose not to. I chose to live my best life with my family these 3 days. And I
I
think
like that.
some of us need to redefine what we want our life to look like. And it doesn't have to look like that every day, right? I
To
don't,
just love what you do.
yeah, it's to me, it's the fulfillment of
Mhm.
not even like I get the fulfillment from seeing the happiness and in business, the success of others. That like, how do you see the going from the automated to the life of choice? How do you see people being able to transition to that?
It's a very hard thing. It's a very difficult thing because initially when you create automation, it takes a while because to create a habit, that means you got to practice it a lot. To disrupt a habit, that means you got to do a lot of conscious work to disrupt it. So it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work. And when you was talking about like being with your family, And hey, I'm present. I'm gonna be in the present. I'm gonna enjoy this moment versus taking pictures of it, video it, and then go back and visit it. Right? You can be in the present or you can visit the past. But sometimes it's better off for you to be in the present and enjoy the present versus like making a memory and go back and visit it to actually be part of it. So that was beautiful. I was like, yeah, Jess, I would whoop you if you didn't take the 3 days off and go do your thing and enjoy your family because that's very important. It's the holidays because I'm here too for the holidays. I'm chilling, enjoy my time too. And when I'm with my family, I'm with my family. When I'm not, I'm just gonna work because I got the time. I got the time, which I'm grateful for right now. Even though we closing out the year, and earlier we was talking about the dream piece, and I want to tie something here real quick because for the folks that are listening, if you're listening to this and you think about that childhood dream, like that dream that you had when you was maybe 12, 13, 14, or maybe it was 8, 9, 10, whatever that age was for you, like that dream you really had. I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a doctor. Whatever that is, right? And now you think about it, is you can still make that dream come true. So now for the next year, for 2025 that's coming up, if you had to imagine at the end of, just imagine this, at the end of 2025, just imagine, and ask yourself this question. What would have to happen for you to be happy with your progress at the end of 2025? Like what would have to happen for you to be happy with your progress? And then you can think about, oh, I would do this, I would think about that, I would execute that. And based on that thought, go execute. The things that have to happen for you to be happy with your progress, go do them. And whatever obstacles show up, if that thing bother you, next question. If this thing didn't bother me, what would I be doing? I'll be doing that thing. Go do that then. Don't worry about the thing that bother you either, right? I was standing in your way. If the obstacle wasn't here, what would you be doing? I'll be doing that. Then you just focus on that. And at the end of 2025, then whatever shows up, you celebrate that. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. I think now is the time to do a life audit.
Mm,
Look at your life and figure out where is it that you are merely existing.
mm,
And if you are not existing, if you're living the potential that your life could be, figuring out what's holding you back, creating a vision, and surrounding yourself with people that will encourage you to be better, do better, encourage you to be able to have that growth, have that mindset, and be part of a uplifting community where everyone is winning together. I think that is the way we overcome the automation and we start living a life of choice to do different, to be different, and to realize that it's never too late. It's
mm,
later than you think, and there's no better day than today. The time is now to really focus in on what is it that you want your life to look like, feel, be like,
mm.
and just go do it.
So I have a challenging question for you then, Jeff. So if we had to answer the question, maybe at the end of 2025, like what would have to happen for you to be happy with your progress for that year? If you had to give us like a little vision of what that vision look like that you're thinking about for 2025, because I know you have some really good stuff on your list. I don't know if you don't have to share all of them because I know some of them you're still working on, but the one that you can share publicly right now, if you had to share with the people that are listening right now to get them inspiration, some kind of pathway to vision their future and think about if this thing happened, I'll be happy with my progress at the end of 2025. What would that be for you?
So for me, one of the new exciting projects I have that is going to be live in the first quarter of the new year is my official coaching program
Mm-hmm.
launches.
Mm-hmm.
And I've spent a lot of time thinking about what I wanted this program to look like. And for me, the outcome
Mm-hmm.
is creating impact, being significant as a contributor to someone's success, helping them get unstuck and
Mm-hmm.
helping them realize that they are closer than they think. To me, that would be a huge success. And it's not even about the masses. It's tell me that at the end of the year, one person a month said
Mm-hmm.
to me or said about me, I'm grateful that I got the opportunity to work with Jessica to help me achieve my dreams.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is a huge win that I see when we talk about wins and success. I see it before it happens. I believe it and know it to be true before I can see the tangible part of it because I put in the work. I do it with love
Mm-hmm.
and I'm unapologetically me and want to help other people do the same. That is something that 2025, one of the projects that I'm working on, I'm going to say that I'm probably most excited about because it's been in the works for so long.
Mm.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you. I'm excited that you actually gonna launch this program because I know a lot of the folks that been hanging around you, been getting your love and care and nurturing, been like, yeah, Jess, when is this thing gonna jump off? We on the waiting list too, right? We on the waiting list. So yeah, so I'm excited for you to launch that. I know we got some other stuff too, but yeah, definitely. I'm excited for you on that one.
What about you, Asher?
She always gotta flip it back on me.
Yeah.
Same question. What happened to 2025 at the end of 2025 for me to be happy with my progress of 2025? So the plan is for me to launch this new community around Memoirs to Million and launching this community and then filling the waiting list with people that, okay, Asher, I can't wait for the next one to start, So I want to build up a massive waiting list of people that want to get in. That would be my ideal progress I would love to see. And then helping a lot of people that are the right people that really wants to take their memoirs and turn it into something useful and positive and impactful to other people. Because one thing I realize about stories, Jess, is that there say if I can, there's a million people that just like you out there, and they're behind you, meaning that they're waiting for you to make this thing work so their stuff can work. But we don't know who these people are. But when I go out there and hey, I finished the mission, and here is how I did it. And then I know another million people are gonna go out and do the same mission in their own path. But then here goes my blueprint. Here goes how I did it. Just in case you might be worried and afraid of what's ahead, I can tell you what's ahead because I've seen it. And you get to go face it without the fear that you will have without being able to see it. And I want to be able to create that for other people. Hey, go write your story, put your story out there. Because somebody's battling some of the same demons, some of the same dragons, whatever you want to call it, that is beating them up right now. They know to fight back because they don't have your recipe. They don't have your inside, foresight, hindsight, right? They don't have none of that stuff. And if they have it, they will be less fearful. Because something that I learned in the military, that's why I appreciate having my seniors ahead of me, because what they helped me understand is that, hey, Asher, a lot of these battles we all been fought. Some of us got beaten, some of us beat the battle.
Mhm.
But don't be afraid because this is what I've done to make it possible for me to get here.
Mhm.
So how did I get here? I get here by doing these things. Now you on the same path, coming the same direction as I went. Here goes what I did to get here. And memoirs, my friend, is one of the best thing that people can do to help people see the pathway to the destination that they're trying to get to that other people have been to. I'm 44 years old, Jess. You are 55 big 50, right?
Big
A lot of a lot of things you've seen that will
yeah.
help somebody that's in their 20s and their 30s that are very scared because they're like, how do I tackle this thing that looks so scary? Well, I've done it. This is how I beat it. Here goes the goddamn cheat code. Go try it, right? Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Yep, you get 2025, we're gonna teach people how to slay the dragons, how to be the David in their David and Goliath stories. I
Mm,
think that's real impact, helping other people realize that it can be done. And when
mm-hmm,
it's done with the right community, a tribe of people that are there to support you, to cheer you on, to build you up, to say, yeah, no, that doesn't sound right. Don't do it that way. I
mm-hmm,
think that that is an incredible way to be able to bless someone and showing them what's possible because you did it already. So, yeah,
mm-hmm.
so I think, are we wrapping up?
Yeah, we on a few more minutes left. A few more minutes to wrap up.
Can you
Yeah.
believe that this is our last episode for the year, Asher?
I know. We started in October 30, was October 21st. That was the first episode.
Yes.
October 21st, the first episode. And we've been teamwork in this thing. And I am 100% like grateful for this journey. Start doing this idea tennis with you because learn so much and we get to share so much. And then people have been enjoying the conversation, man. Like I'm enjoying it. What about you? You been enjoying it?
I'm enjoying it. I am grateful I am grateful that God placed you on my path. I am grateful that you push all the buttons.
Elevator is going up.
Yes, you push all the buttons that should be like out of order. But I think that for me, it's been an incredible learning experience as well. It's been something that's definitely not what I should. I'm going to rewind. We're going to change it. I didn't think it was something within my comfort zone when we
Mm-hmm.
first started. I'm great in the one-to-one conversation of
Mm-hmm.
being able to speak freely and not have to worry about what I'm going to say or how it's going to be received when I'm doing a coaching session with somebody. But the idea of other people listening
Mm-hmm.
and having their own thoughts was, I'm not going to lie, it was a little like frightening. I think that you can't tell somebody, go live your best life, go do the things that are uncomfortable and
Mm-hmm.
see if it works. If it doesn't work, learn from it and do better next time if you're not actually doing that. So for me, this was and has been that experiential learning. I've gotten so much joy from the conversations. I love the way the two of us think similar but completely different in the execution. We said the same thing about living versus existing, but you got fancy and talked about automation and manual. Let's just keep it simple where people can understand. I love that about us. I really do. That's why I think we're such a great team in this idea of idea tennis, where we just go back and forth and share. These are all our opinions. These
Mm-hmm.
are our thoughts, our experiences, and we hope at the end of the day that they do create thought provoking questions within people, that it helps them realize that they're not alone and that other people have experienced what they experience. And idea tennis is a way for you to get different perspective and hear us.
I'll tell you. So for you listen to this right now, you're gonna notice about Asher. I'm speaking. Notice about Asher. The one thing I love about the conversation with you, just because my mind works in, I call it spam, right? Similes, parables, analogies, metaphors. Most of the time, I think in those things. Sometimes they're useful, sometimes they're not so useful. Sometimes people need actually give me straight this. But my mind works in similes, parables, analogies, and metaphors. So I think in those symbolic ways of looking at things. Because when I'm reading something, I'm always trying to find a way, how do I symbolically tie this to this right now? If I'm reading something in history, I'm like, oh, that's great symbolism. I can bring that thing to the future and make it fit right here. Take that big body information, shrink it down to a small capsule, like, here you go, dress. But sometimes it works for people, sometimes it don't. So when we talk about the automation and stuff like that, I'm like, that's where my mind goes there. But then you like just get the clarity of, oh, this is what it means. And that's the good thing about the relationship that we have with the conversation here, because now the way I think about things compared to the way you think about things, people can get both sides of it, because now I have a lot of metaphors in my mind about things. I have a lot of analogies I use for things, but then you're like, oh no, this is a raw real thing. This is what it sounds like in real time. So sometimes that really helps me a lot, because sometimes people are like, Ash, what do you mean by that? Because now, because you might be packed into this metaphor, but you're gonna need a lot of wisdom to unpack it. But then with your perspective on it, we unpack it a little bit so people can understand it. So I really appreciate that part of the conversation when I have it with you to tie them back together. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Like I said, it's why we make the perfect idea tennis. I don't, what do they call it? Tennis players? What is there?
Like with opposition, we on both
Yes,
different sides, you know.
opposition. Yes,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yes. Always end up in the same place. And I think the beauty of like attracts like. And when you
Mm-hmm.
find your people, your tribe, your community, that whatever it is that you're working on together should be fun, feel right, and create some type of change for someone else in a better aspect of them, their thought process or their life. And I truly believe that these conversations have the ability to do that. And just to wrap up a little bit of the discussion about living versus existing, I'm going to challenge everyone today to really reflect on their life, where they are,
Mm-hmm.
and realize that one small change can bring you closer to alignment, to going from automated to manual, existing to living. And if you have the mindset of appreciating that where you are today does not have to be where you are for the rest of your life, and each day waking up saying that I'm going to do one small thing that brings me closer to living the life that I have envisioned, you will get there faster than you realize, faster than you think. So that's the challenge that I'm going to put out there for everybody as we get ready to wrap up this 2024 with a beautiful bow.
And I got some admin stuff for the folks that are listening. So coming out in 2025 is the book called Memoirs to Millions, with that's me and Jess's and a couple of other co-authors are putting together right now. It's coming your way and it's gonna be brilliant. It's gonna be awesome. Because here's the thing, Jess, I want him to understand about the talk about the spam, right? But we're using the framework of the two type. And if you think about the teeth in your mouth, they all got different, like 4 different areas of teeth, right? You got the incisors, right? You got the canine, you got the premolars, you got the molars, right? We're breaking that down into a way to look at relationships. And it's going to be something unique when you think about it and when you tie it together. Oh my God, Asha, I couldn't even thought about that. But we thought about this thing and we're going to put it together where you can look at the relationship a lot differently, building community, connecting with people a lot differently. So we bring that book out in 2025. And if you're interested in that one, then we're gonna have something here that you can go fill out in the future to get on the waiting list when the book comes out, because we want to impact your life. Because I realize that in the time of a lot of artificial intelligence, so forth and so on coming online, people really need to connect with people, real people, build a community, connect with other people that are just like you. And my big community are immigrants, veterans, and entrepreneurs. But I'm building with the immigrants right now, right? And just you, I know you're not an immigrant like I am, but right, but you're an entrepreneur. So we're on the same team. We're on the same team. But yeah, but I'm building this thing out, and the book that launched this process was Dare to Ignite Your Dreams. It was an anthology with 10 immigrants, including myself. And we built the model out so you can check that out, see what the model look like. But then Memoirs a Million is going to be how we bring all that together into a community. And now we get to impact people. So if you're interested in writing your memoirs, it's going to be the place to do it with the people that's going to be helping you really unpack what that is. So that's coming your way. And that some of that information going to be in the show notes. But looking forward to connecting you in 2025 to make it epic, utterly fantastic. What are your thoughts, Jess? You can close this out.
I am so looking forward to our Memoirs to Millions and hearing and reading other people's stories. I'm going to encourage the audience, if you're listening, subscribe, comment, share, and we'd love to hear in the comments any questions that you'd like for us to chat about in 2025. I usually pick a word of the year.
Ooh, I got it. Okay, we gotta start. I was just gonna about to say that. What's your word of the year for 2025?
Yes. So the past couple of years I think it was like elevate, execute. I think one year was like level up recently. And I'm going to say my 2025 impact, I'm going to say 2 words.
So the impact, so oftentimes you gotta do the opposing word too.
Yes.
So the opposing word, the impact, you gotta think about that one as well.
I have to think about the opposing word to impact. I was going to say impact and awareness. Awareness, selective. I haven't figured out. I know before we went live, before we recorded this conversation, I was talking about how I have 4 main projects for 2025.
Yes.
And the answer to everything else is no. So being selective. And why? Because no one can do all things and do them. Can't be a jack of all trades and a master of none. These are the 4 things that I've aligned with that I believe for me personally and professionally. 2024 was the setup for all of those. 2024, I planted the seeds, I watered the soil, and now it's starting to bloom. I'm seeing the green, and so the harvest is coming, and that's my focus. I don't want to lose focus on the seeds that I've planted by becoming distracted. Sometimes people want to do so many things. Okay, but you can't do all of them, and you should focus on how can you do them to the best of your ability.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm gonna say no to a lot of things. Actually, 2024 was my year of yes, is what it
Mm.
was. I said yes to everything because I wanted to, when it's how I got here to idea tennis. I said yes to everything because I wanted to see the things that set my soul on fire. I wanted to see what I enjoyed, what I knew I, as a result of saying yes, didn't want to do. So yes is powerful in lots of different ways, just as powerful as no is. So the
So
word,
maybe you should think about the impact of saying no. For your
uh,
word, the impact of saying no.
yeah,
So my word is traction. So 2024, my word of 2024 was teamwork, and the opposing word to that was loneliness. And I actually saw that play out, my friend. Oh my God. That word actually just showed up so much. So this year is traction and stagnation for me. So I'm going to focus on how do I create a lot of traction for 2025 going to 2026. And I'm going to focus on that one 100%. So I have a few things that I'm lining up. I'm like, I'm just going to do it because what I want to create too is for traction is like perfect repeatable week type deal. Focus on the thing that's working and just keep repeating it. I tried that in 2024. I got really drained, but I saw what it could do. So now I got to be deliberate about the things that I'm going to repeat weekly and go into 2025 and see what the result can be. So traction for me is the 2025 word.
yes.
Okay.
We're definitely going to see at the end of 2025, when we
Mm-hmm.
sit back and we reflect, how those words aligned with our choices so
Mm-hmm.
that success could ultimately be the reward for us in our different projects that we have this year. So I'm excited for 2025.
Me too. And with that, if folks want to find Jessica, where can they reach you?
So right now you can find me on Instagram, Success is Your Reward with Jess. In 2025, I'll be sharing the website where you can lock in as part of my coaching program, which is going to be a 12-week community coaching, intimate, small group, limited to 20 people only, so that we
Mm-hmm.
can really create impact together and help everyone elevate and achieve their goals as a
Mm-hmm.
community.
Awesome. And for me, lifechangingwisdom.com is my home base. Instagram right now, asher.ra.sda. That's my handle. Find me there on Instagram. And definitely go on Amazon. Look up all my books. I got 4 books out there right now. But my pen name on Instagram is Asher A.W, right? My last name. I want to be known by the name Asher. So an initial for my last name. But it's Asher A.W for my books on Amazon. You can find a lot of them on there. Cool. All right, Jess. It's awesome seeing you, my friend.
Yes, to everyone that's watching, happy, healthy, and blessed 2025 as I cheers with my ultimate
Oh,
aloe.
hello.
Yes,
I got my coffee here. My not tea, my tea. So
yes, my
make
beautiful cup that my friend and colleague Nolithia gifted
uh
me. So
Lolita, she's so nice. She's so nice. I love her. Cool. All right, folks, making an utterly fantastic 2025. Cheers to you, Jess.
cheers, Asher.